and let us all do we can to build a better future.
It has to deal with the fact that the Biden-Harris administration, the city of New York, politicians across the board are screwing over people. Now, how are they screwing us over, these politicians? Because it's just bigger than Cardi B calling out. It's something that we all have to finally address. Look, I live in a major metropolitan city, Chicago. Same. And the issues impacting Chicago are also impacting New York City, too, and other major cities. We have an economic crisis. We have a lot of instability. And unfortunately, our elected leaders are not fulfilling their tasks at hand. They are not doing the job that needs to be done. They are failing their constituents. Services and goods and responsibilities are being cut by city and local officials. And yet we have politicians, even at the federal level, saying that, oh, don't worry, we could bail out banks. We could afford 2 wars. So first, let's go for the federal level. This is our good friend Janet Yellen, who proclaims that it's okay that, you know, that Ukraine can't not only lose can't lose a battle on the home front because it lacks enough money to keep school teachers in the classroom. That's right. No, I'm not talking about funding for weapons. So if you're a teacher, teacher's aide, or, you know, aspiring to be a teacher, I guess move to Ukraine, because Janet Yellen says we can't allow Ukraine to lose a battle on the home front because it lacks enough money to keep school teachers in the classroom. What? Look, I'm not a parent, but what about our schools? What about that? I'm shout out to you, my viewing audience. Many of you are parents, or many of you are guardians. What about us? You think I'm joking about this video? Here, listen from Janet Yellen's own mouth.
In Israel, the Biden administration has this $105 billion security aid package on the table. What's the chance that it gets passed before the end of the year?
Well, it's a critical priority for the president and critical to the national security of our country. I can't prognosticate about the timetable on this. I'm pleased that Congress has passed legislation to keep the government open and running, but it really is essential that this aid be provided both to Israel and to Ukraine. We can't allow Ukraine to lose a battle on the home front because it lacks enough money to keep school teachers in the classroom and first.
I don't know, controversial statement here in 3, 2, 1. Can't there be like diplomatic talks between Russia and Ukraine now? Can't we call for a ceasefire in Gaza, you know, instead of prolonging these conflicts? You know, and in Ukraine specifically, what we're paying for their health care, for Christ's sakes, okay? Now we're paying for their schools. What about schools across America? I mean, there has to come a point to where, you know, there's a breaking point. I mean, every single time, you know, I head outside, you know, I'm seeing the same look of concern and fear at stores or any other area, you know, across the city where people are visibly afraid and scared. How are they going to make ends meet? How are they going to survive past tomorrow? And yet we don't have money for schools. We don't have money for infrastructure. We don't have money to help out homeowners or renters, or small business owners. We have unchecked corruption and abuse of power, but we got money to help out another country's school system. What about us? What about the people? And yet politicians in the media are surprised that Americans across the spectrum are angry and don't trust these institutions anymore. Jimmy Dore called it out way back in the day. Shout out to Jimmy Dore.
Responders on the job when it's fighting valiantly on the battlefield. So Ukraine is utterly dependent on this aid. We need to join others. Our European friends have provided 50 billion euro of aid to Ukraine over the next 4 years. The IMF has provided over 15 billion. They need us to do our part for this to hold together as a package. And of course, Israel urgently needs aid as well. And this aid is critical to the national security of America. We, if Putin were to win this brutal war in Ukraine, next we might see him attacking a NATO ally of ours.
I had to play that out because, you had to listen to the madness too. This is a huge thank you to BSDNC and CNN, corporate media, and Vote Blue no matter who for doing this whole Russiagate, Putin the bad guy, Trump bad, evil, evil, evil. First of all, to everyone, we have to understand, by prolonging this conflict, by having this conflict continue to happen, we are only pushing forward the possibility for this war to become hot, for the nukes to be flying, and the collective end of humanity. Now, this whole fear mongering and propaganda is causing people to lose their ability to think critically. And I encourage all of you to think critically. Time is running out, and if we're not efficient with voicing our concerns and calling out the establishment and using our own political power, we're going to see more videos of people like Janet Yellen saying, oh, yes, we need to give more money to countries overseas. And look, I feel sorry for everyone, okay? But I really have to wonder, when are the American people going to get their fair share, their own bailout? I want to pull up this video here. Eric Adams, as he announces he will cut New York City services for constituents so he can pay, for the undocumented migrants that he invited to move into the sanctuary city. Now, I have been very clear about what's happening by the border, why there is a massive push of migrants here. It's because, of course, previous decades of policies by the U.S. administration, both Republican and Democrat, the war on drugs, sanctions, coups, regime change wars, etc. Of course, you're going to have political instability and uncertainty, and people are going to be afraid. But in 2016 and 2017, when the term sanctuary cities were really starting to gain traction on social media, it sounded good on paper. But the thing is, these politicians and individuals that wanted to promote their cities as sanctuary cities were only doing it as feel-good points to look better than Trump. And now when they're called out, I'm going to speak on behalf of right here in Chicago, this city is ill-prepared. It was always ill-prepared. There was never a plan.
In recent months, our administration has delivered for you over and over again. Jobs are up, crime is down, and every day we're delivering for working people. But for months, you've heard me talk about the fiscal challenges our city is facing as the cost of the asylum seeker humanitarian crises have skyrocketed, placing great strain on our budget. At the same time, COVID-19 stimulus funding is sunsetting. We have been clear that without significant timely action from our state and federal partners, we will be forced to make some tough choices. As we have made these hard choices, the well-being of New Yorkers has always been our top priority. We have not only managed taxpayer dollars responsibly and balanced the budget as required by law, but we have done so while minimizing disruption to the services New Yorkers rely on. In September, we directed every city agency to reduce city-funded spending by 5%. Since then, every agency has found savings with minimum disruption to services and no tax increases. Our efforts were successful. Today, we are delivering our November financial plan update.
Now, how many of you believe that this plan is going to still provide the same safety and security for all the people in New York City? Type 1 for kid. I have absolute confidence. Never once will a mayor lie to the people or fail to follow through. Type 2, no, man. I see it coming. There's going to be a tidal wave of crap.
With a balanced budget, just like you and your families must do when you sit down at your kitchen table and pay your bills every month. But while we succeeded, make no mistake, We are not out of the woods.
They didn't succeed.
We added billions of dollars to care for the migrants. COVID funding is sunsetting, and we must close a $7 billion budget gap in the coming fiscal year. That is the reality we are facing. And if circumstances don't change dramatically, city agencies will be forced to reduce city funding spending by 5% 2 more times within the next 6 months. That would mean disruptions to the services we all rely on. We cannot afford to be divided as a city in this moment. We must come together and speak with one voice to Albany and Washington, D.C. to get the support we need. We urge you to join us in that call. I have been in this city through good times and difficult times. Despite the challenges ahead of us, we will continue to come back stronger because that is the New York City way.
So let's talk about the New York City way. Because Cardi B, I'm going to play this video of her calling out Biden, the mayor of New York City, and everybody else. And it's been gaining a lot of traction on social media. I think it's important that we hear her perspective. I do find it interesting that a lot of celebrities and individuals that were kind of going to bat for the Democrats in 2020 are now calling them out because they are not following through with any of their promises, and they're being shown as the hypocrites that they are. So let's play this video because this has been getting a lot of traction, and I think it's once again spelling the doom for the Democrats. I said that this was going to happen. I remember saying this clearly.
Angry bitch right now. I'm an angry ass bitch right now. I'm an angry bitch. Y'all need to get in here because I'm about to go off right now. Right now. Yeah, I'm about to go off right now. Come on in. Hold up. Oh, y'all outside because usually I be having like 30,000 people by now, but I have 24,000. I need y'all to spread this fucking video. I need y'all to spread this video. And if something happens to me, it's because I'm speaking truth. So God forbid something happens to me or my family or some shit, is because the niggas is after me because I'm speaking the truth.
I should just give a heads up. There's going to be some swear words and profanity. So if you got little people watching this show, even though I joke that this is a family-friendly show, it is not. It is most definitely not a family-friendly show. Well, we try and make sure that everyone starts their morning right and righteously angry. I think Cardi B started her morning very angry.
And here's the truth, right? In New York, there is a 120 million budget cut. There's a 120 million budget cut in New York that is going to affect schools, public libraries, and the police department. Y'all know I don't give a fuck about the cops, but like it is what it is. There's going to be an $120 million budget cut with schools, with the libraries, and the cops, and the police department, and a $5 million budget cut in sanitation. Of a budget cut in sanitation, bitch, we're going to be drowning with rats. We're going to be drowning in fucking rats. So we are going to be having a budget cut on these shits. Mind you, and this is why I said this is what I'm telling y'all, I'm not this year. Don't fucking ask me. I don't give a fuck the resume that they send. I don't give a fuck. I'm not endorsing no fucking presidents no more. Because how is there a $100 million budget cut in New York City for fucking schools, library, police safety, and sanitation? Yeah, Joe Biden's talking about like, yeah, we could fund 2 wars. We could fund 2 wars. Motherfuckers talking about we don't got it, but we got it. Like we're the greatest nation. No, the fuck we're not. We're going through some shit right now.
She's not wrong. She's absolutely correct. And a lot of Americans don't know how they're going to make ends meet. I have seen the same reports being shared from 2020, but now they're going up to an 11, and that is Americans living in their cars, Americans living in their homes, but they turned off the electricity, water, or gas. Americans working 3 jobs or more. Some Americans not working at all because what's the point? Some Americans just facing homelessness and living in tents and going to work, by the way, or living in their car and going to work. There is a grave despair that is going over this entire country, because we have politicians who are unable to provide security and reassurances to the American people. And with these two conflicts, especially in Gaza and in Ukraine, for example, Americans are looking at this and wondering, well, what's the end all goal? You know, we see on social media people joke about World War III, but my goodness, it seems to be knocking on our door. The sequel that we all been waiting for. Is it impossible for diplomatic talks? Is it truly that harsh to do? Is the death toll in Gaza, which is now past 11,000, 12,000, 13,000? What's the approved number? What's the approved number? And then when we look at Americans here, Americans who are dying or just going into forever debt, many Americans are asking, well, what's the point of participating in a society that just doesn't give a damn? This is how you get people going crazy. And that's why I say to all of you, please be careful out there. Keep your heads on a swivel, because these politicians are cutting more and more of our services and expecting us to pay more and more just to live here. When are we getting our bailout? Where's our relief?
Like, say it. We really going through. We really are fucked right now. $120 million. Like, where these kids are gonna go? Like, I'm lucky. I'm blessed. I'm whatever the fuck. But like, what's gonna happen to my nieces? What's gonna happen to my nephews? What's gonna happen to my cousins, my aunts, my friends? That's living in the hood. Fuck the hood. Like, my shit. Like, I don't give a fuck if I live in Jersey, bitch. I'm from the Bronx. I don't want to see my shit affected. The Bronx, Brooklyn, it's gonna affect the whole New York. 120 million budget cut on schools, libraries, police department, and sanitation. Bitch, New York is already fucking super dirty. Like, yo, you know what's embarrassing? Like, it's like, you know, like, I know people from California, I know people from Atlanta, so I always be like, yeah, New York is the greatest place in the world. Yeah, they be like, New York is dirty, and it is dirty, and we're gonna get even dirtier with the fucking budget cut. And yeah, we talking about we could fund 2 wars. That's like a nigga trying to front, like, yeah, I got the money to support 2 bitches, but you really don't.
Yeah, hey guys, listen. A little bit off topic, but hey, don't put on a face, man. If you can't be the super playboy, don't do it. You're only gonna get humiliated and dragged on social media. Plus, hey, it pays to be loyal. Have that one special lady in your heart, always.
Y'all talk about y'all don't make negotiation with the odds. Well, y'all need to sit the fuck down with these people and find agreement. No, we cannot fund these fucking wars. We can't. Keep it a bean. We can't. Like, y'all doing budget cuts on the biggest city in the United States. Somebody said, Cardi, look behind.
And that's not cool. Whoever wrote that in her chat, look behind you.
Stop playing with me. This shit is getting out of hand. We're really going, they don't want to say the word, but we're going through a recession right now. We really fucking are. And Major Eric said it. There is a budget cut going on in New York. And little by little, it's going to go in your states. Okay? This is fucking crazy. And then, so, like, you know what? I told myself this week, like, yo, the internet right now is too dark, because celebrity drama, of course, we love it. We infuse with it. We watch it. But it's like, yo, that's little of what's really going on in the world right now. That's nothing compared to what's going on in the world right now. The world is in fucking shambles. After the pandemic, a lot of these countries, they want to do shit because everybody.
So that video is only for 5 minutes, but I think Cardi B pretty much broke it down as simply as we all can say it. And that is, look, New York City's a canary in the coal mine, and I can relate to it because it's happening here in my city, Chicago. It's happening in a lot of major metropolitan cities. And no matter what state you live in, even if it's a red state, small town, if you live in a small town, small city, etc., we're all going to be hit with these cuts. We have money for wars. We don't have money for our schools. We have money to fund other nations' schools. We don't have money to fund our own schools. Our infrastructure is falling apart, but yet we have money to build other countries' infrastructure. Americans can't own a home, but hey, we covered on this show on how all those billions of dollars that we sent to Ukraine, some of those leading officials there are buying nice little villas in Europe, like in Spain or France or anywhere else. Nice little fancy villas where they could live their best lives. Isn't that nice? We have money to bail out Wall Street and the big banks and the corporations, but no money to bail out the American people. I don't know how 2024 is going to play out, but if the Democrats really think they could use the freer propaganda, good luck to them. Seriously, I do mean that. Good luck to you guys into thinking that you could get enough people to lose their ability to think critically, because Americans are seeing it. Even the most diehard vote blue no matter who people. And I've been speaking to a lot of my friends on social media, a lot of people who I talk to. They're all, what's Biden doing? I don't feel confident. I don't want to vote. I don't want to vote for him. Yes, vote blue no matter who. That is coming from other diehard liberals. Now, on this show, I'm not going to tell anyone how to vote. That's going to be your choice. This election year, I have to give a shout out to Misty Winston. She called it out even before 2023 came rolling in. Electoral politics is meaningless. And that's why we have to look at citizen ballot initiatives. We have to look at building movements and organizations not connected to Washington, D.C., because I am just burnt out by these presidential candidates. I am burnt out by the lackluster attempt to really try and make a name for themselves. A lot of them still put on those kid gloves of not really challenging Biden. Well, you have to challenge Biden. You have to challenge Trump. So as we continue to progress forward, because November is going to be ending very soon, December is the last month of 2023. We'll be entering into 2024 very soon. Don't be surprised as we see more politicians say we have to make more sacrifices. The American people have sacrificed enough.